Faith Walk, a walk from darkness to the light.
So it's all based on a true story?
It's a true story.
True story, 100%.
I went through many years of difficult time raising, being a single mom, raising my children. When they were ready to go off to college, I had voids in my life, you know. So I started tutoring at City Jail in St. Louis, and I was teaching in adult basic education and GED. I became attached to these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they were real people. Yes, they were bad boys. Yes, they committed horrible crimes. I was able to make a connection, you know, with them. And in my book, I describe the different types of inmates and compare it to the parable of the sower and the different types of grounds and the different types of personalities that are there behind bars. And I met an innocent man there, and he never told me his story. I found out his story through social service and the people that worked there in the jail, and they told me that he was innocent, and he sat in jail 2 years waiting trial for something he did not do. And what they wound up doing was they wound up joining his case with his mentally impaired brother. So everything that his brother did spilled over on him. And when I saw what happened, I was enraged, and people were telling me, Bonnie, just back off, just leave it alone. And I said, well, you know, this man is going to be spending the rest of his life in prison, and he didn't commit the crime. And I said, so how long does it take to filter through the system?
Yeah.
And they said 12 years. I said, you're willing to sacrifice 12 years of a person's life? I took up the gauntlet, and I decided, okay, somebody's got to do something, you know? I didn't know what I was doing. I had no earthly idea in the world. God has a purpose for every single one of us. And most people go through life and they never know what that is. And I found mine, and mine was battling injustice and bringing his case before them, and to the point where they started listening to me, you know, and I would use my creativity and humor is how I got through to them. And I got through to the governor's people, and they eventually commuted Gregory's sentence. And then it ends with him walking out of prison. Everyone in life has mountaintop experiences and valleys. And when they're in the valleys, they need something to get them through that valley experience so that they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think Faith Walk can help people do that.
Yes, my book is called Walking Free from Bondage to Liberty. My wife had already wrote her book about Faith Walk many, many years ago. But then what happened was, you know, New York publishing company saw it and said, this book is for the day, and they wanted her to revise it. And so she did that, because at the time I was still in prison when she was writing this. So they needed to see the part that there was an end product here. I'm out of prison now. And she mentioned to them that, hey, I was writing a book and it wasn't finished yet. So they said, well, if he get it finished, we'll publish it. The reason that I wrote my book is because of the help that I got from other people's book during the course of time that I was incarcerated for a crime I didn't commit. And so it was their inspiration of what they had overcome that kind of motivated me to want to put this in paper and word to try to help other people to see that, hey, you know, even if you're going through something in life, you need to be able to try and overcome that. And so the best way that you can do that is put it on pen and paper, and where people can actually see what you experienced, and then they can go back and reflect on it if they need to. One of the main things I fought for is the clearing of my name, and I'm still fighting for, because you know what? It says in the Bible that a good name is rather to be chosen than silver and gold. And I can't let these people trash my name and say I'm this when I'm not. I'm not that. I'm a businessman, I'm a minister, I'm a man that writes books now, I'm an author. Don't define me, that's not your job to. God defined me when he created me. Another story that really touched and inspired me was In the Name of the Father. It was about a guy that was he was an Irish guy that his whole family was locked up and put in prison for crimes they did not commit. His dad ended up dying in prison, pretty much like I had a brother that died in prison from my situation. So, you know, you could see parallels, and you could see that people go through things, but what is at the end of them going through it? Do they overcome it? Do they come out of it? And that's the thing that I think that's important. And that's what I want people to take away from my book and my wife's book, because you can see from these stories that we have conquered something that what in natural life you shouldn't conquer, even though you deserve to conquer it, but you shouldn't, because the way that they have come against you. And so I'm hoping that the book can just show that, hey, you don't give up, or you don't get upset, or you don't, things come across your pathway and things might cause you pain. But what is it that you're gonna do? Are you gonna sit there and wallow, or are you gonna get up and make it happen for you? Do something with what you got. And so, but it was because of my mom, she left us a little money, that I was able to get my wife's book published. And if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be here talking to you about a book today. We all interact with different situations. We face these problems that we face every day. And so if our books can really help people to see this and get a hold of it, I think that they will find that both of them will be definitely good reads.